Forget what you heard. Yeah, boy!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Forget What You Heard. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Luke.
Alright, now ladies.
Yeah?
What's cooler than being cool?
Ice cold.
Welcome back everybody. We're doing a little mock draft with a twist today. Our last mock draft was what we think the team will do, but this mock draft is what we would do in that situation. But hold my horses. By golly, my goodness, I'm so sorry. How you doing, Brother Bear?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking.
Blessings.
Just looking forward to knocking out this mock draft, man. We're also going to touch on some of the first round of the NBA playoffs in the second half of this podcast, so stay tuned. Very exciting.
Good point. I'm glad you brought that up because we got some good little matchups going on. We got some a lot of things to talk about. Some good series, to be honest with you, man. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. So, yeah, we got a little bit of the best of both worlds in this episode. Some NFL. Those of you that are thirsty for that, and the NBA, if you're thirsty for that. If you don't, we're going to quench some thirst tonight, brother.
Oh, yeah. A lot going on in sports, man. The NFL draft's here in 10 days. You know, it's right here. You know, so we're going to have to get this knocked out. And then the NBA playoffs, like we said, we'll touch on that. So this mock draft, though, is a little different. It's got a twist.
Pop!
This mock draft was put together by yours truly, me and Aaron here. I had the odd picks. Aaron took the even picks. So it's basically a mock draft. It's kind of what we're doing here. This is our plan. And once they're picked, they're no longer available. Aaron has to take the next best available player for his picks, and so on and so forth. So make it a little interesting. And we had a lot of fun putting this together. Basically a little draft.
Yeah, it was interesting doing it. It was fun, a lot of fun doing it. But I think it shows kind of where me and Luke's minds are at in terms of drafting if we were actually GMs.
Right.
I kind of noticed a little trend there.
What was
Some
it?
positions fell, certain things,
True.
I think we hold other positions in higher regard than others. I think you'll notice that. I noticed it at least.
Can you point out one thing that you noticed before we get into it? Because I'd like to give a little sneak peek, a preview. Because like you said, a lot of positions dropped. Positional values were kind of important in this draft, I think.
Yeah, I think the wide receivers were a little lower than I think people expect from us.
Okay.
Because they keep, wide receivers, they have them going from, 2 to, throughout the draft. But we kind of have them at the lower end of the spectrum.
Yeah, I think we had about 6 receivers drafted in the first round, which is probably about the right number. It's just about their landing spots.
Yeah.
And, like you said, a few names that we've been hearing going a little higher definitely did fall. But me personally, I like to prioritize the trenches.
Yeah.
I'm not going to draft a QB knowing that their offensive line stinks just to put them up for failure. So a lot of I think we only had, 3 QBs drafted in the first, 2 after pick 26.
Yeah, so this mock's not going to be outrageously ridiculous with skill positions and sprinkling running backs in there for no reason or quarterbacks.
Yeah, this was very thought out. This is,
we sat down and I have a notebook open right now that I actually wrote with my hands.
It's true.
In this book, and I'm pretty sure, actually I know for a fact, Luke has one too. He used his hands, not his feet this time, and he wrote it down.
Yeah, we went a little old school, man. We don't need no laptop. We don't need no computer.
Yeah, we finally... I think it's good to write every now and again. I think, our little journals... shout out to Alexis for the journals, and so we can use our penmanship. It's refreshing. I like it.
Yeah, and it's just nice to be able to like look back on this journal and then see like,
Yeah.
oh, we had a whole draft and
Because
you know,
a lot of our previous episodes we're just going off the top, so we
Yeah.
don't like. It's good to look back at our notes and be like, oh, we actually talked about this, and go back to see if we were right or wrong or how off we were. Like I think this will be our our recipe going forward. I think because I never take notes, but now like looking at notes, it's like this makes life so much easier.
yeah, I guess for like mock drafts though, it makes sense to kind of have like a list or like something to
You
look
can't,
off of.
yeah, you can't do a mock draft without having
Yeah.
something like you're looking at.
Yeah, it's nice not having like stats or like summaries and stuff. It's just we're gonna go based off who we picked and their fit and why we did it, and that's pretty much it. Just a certain.
Sounds
players.
like a plan, man.
that'll
Luke odd, Aaron even.
that'll be all the way through. So the first up
He's an odd one.
is an odd pick. He might be a little odd too, but we'll continue. Jacksonville Jaguars. If I'm the GM of the Jaguars at the first pick, I'm taking the guy with the most upside in the draft, and that's Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm taking Thibodeau out of edge. People saying Hutchinson, this and that, but Kayvon Thibodeau is my pick for Jacksonville. Just the potential to be the best player in the class. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to take Thibodeau just because you've talked about his ceiling, his potential.
Right.
So I kind of knew this one was coming.
You
and
did?
I respected the pick. Yeah.
Do you have an
But I
issue
was-
with it?
I don't have an issue with it. I mean, everything you've said. And I've heard, it's just his work ethic and stuff. I mean, we've seen, if someone he can put it all together,
He'll be the best.
he'll be the best. So
Does that hinder your second overall pick at all? Would you
no, I'm
consider
happy. I'm happy. I'm happy with the pick that I was able to choose for the Detroit Lions.
Ooh.
The hometown boy, like I did in my own mock draft.
Motor City, baby?
Aiden Hutchinson. And I think that's a perfect place for him. They need an edge rusher, someone that can get after the quarterback. They struggled with that last year. And I also came up with a nickname for him in Detroit.
I'm interested.
A Lion King.
That's
Mufasa.
cute. Yeah, if he can live up to it, man. Yeah, that would be a great nickname.
Yeah. So
Did you consider quarterback at number 2 for Detroit?
Of course. I thought about it, but
Too many
I'm thinking
needs.
they have another pick in the first, and you can still
True.
get that 5th-year option. So you get that, the best talent in the draft. With the quarterbacks, none of them are like, I have to pick this guy at this spot. It would just be a reach. So I went with the safe pick and picked the Lion King,
I like it.
Mufasa.
Makes sense. Number 3, Houston Texans. In my opinion, most versatile tackle in the draft. Get him. Evan Neal was my pick for the Texans. You could go edge here. You could go sauce. Evan Neal shores up that offensive line. You know how I am. Trenches. Laramie Tunsil can now be moved if that's the route you want to go. But if not, hold on Tunsil. You have Evan Neal, franchise right or left tackle.
Yeah.
That's one of the better tackle combos in the NFL from day one. So now you can protect Davis Mills. I almost think it's a no-brainer. I think Evan Neal's a first overall type of guy, and I think he would be going if they didn't re-sign Cam Robinson, Jacksonville. So Evan Neal here for the Texans is my pick.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said.
Okay.
I think the Texans, if you start with the offensive line and, with a strong offensive line, it makes things easier, I think, especially for Davis Mills to see what he really has,
Exactly.
He doesn't have a lot of weapons or anything, but, just keep him upright, keep him healthy so we can actually get a good look at him. And like you said, right tackle, wherever you want to move him. Just move over Howard or whatever. They'd have a strong offensive line. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah, I just think best available happens to be Evan Neal. So
Yeah, respect. The 4th pick, the New York Jets select Sauce Gardner
Ooh.
from Cincinnati.
Me
Said this before. Saleh, defensive-minded coach. Defense struggled last year mightily. I'm talking stink. They have a lot of weapons on offense. They did a lot in the draft last year on offense. I think this year they hammer. Oh, well, this is my pick, and I'm picking Sauce Gardner because I think he is the best corner in the draft, and I think he is he's that guy that they can, kind of have a surefire corner, and that's always good, shutting down number ones on other teams, and I think that's what I would do, just, start with a strong corner.
I think that's a good pick because he's not going to fall outside of the top, 5 to 7. So even if you do pick at 10, Sauce isn't the guy that's just going to fall. So I like getting him here. He, like you said, he could be a franchise corner. And so number 5, the New York Giants. They also have pick number 7. I had that in mind making this pick. I took Ike Ekwonu, offensive tackle, NC State. I had this in mind knowing the Panthers, could be considering offensive tackle with their 6th pick, even if I have the 7th pick. So let me go ahead and get Ike here, and then I can address my another need at 7. So, and with talk of him being, one of the better players in the whole draft, I've seen him go 1 and 2 and 3. But if I'm the Giants, you need to shore up offensive line. I mean, it's been talked about. It's a big need. They've lost a lot of pieces, but just adding him, similar to the Texans, you have Andrew Thomas already, could play right or left tackle, but just getting that other tackle solved up, booster that offensive line, give Daniel Jones, another run at it. Saquon needs the hole. Mm-hmm. So just another versatile offensive lineman, one of the better ones in the draft. Pretty easy pick for the Giants at 5.
Icky thump. You can't be a pimp and a prostitute too.
No, you can only be one or the other.
Number 6, Carolina Panthers. And yeah, there's been a lot of swirling around Baker Mayfield, making a move for him. They have Sam Darnold. But for me, if I was the GM of the Carolina Panthers, I need a shot of energy. I need something these fans can hold on to look up to. And I would pick Malik Willis from Liberty.
Wow. Shocking.
From what I saw in his pro day and just scouting him, I think he can be that guy. I know it might be a reach. I don't really like to pick quarterbacks, but for some reason Carolina, if I'm the GM, needs this pick, a little shot in the arm, if you will. Because right now, their options. Even Robbie Anderson's saying no to the Baker Mayfield idea. Sam Darnold's, old news. Let's give them something to believe in. You know what I mean? So I would pick Malik Willis in this situation.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. They need a quarterback. Darnold's not the guy. I think it's a fine pick. I loved Malik Willis at Liberty. I've been on him for almost 2 years now, but
you're falling down the trail tracks.
He's got the tools, the arm, the speed, but as an NFL quarterback, having to process it, the game's super fast. I just don't love how he was an Auburn quarterback and then had to transfer to Liberty. He couldn't find another SEC school. I don't know. There's just something about his overall. I don't know. I just think there's questions around Malik Willis.
But would you say him and Trey Lance are similar?
No. In terms of their tools, yeah, probably.
Yeah, like their tools, not like their stature.
Trey Lance is a better prospect, in my opinion. If we're being completely honest, I think
Malik Willis is a more polished passer than Trey Lance.
Yeah, you could say that. I think
the
both
ceiling
of them
for Trey Lance is higher.
100%. Yeah. I think both of them are comparable to like Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, he'll have his moments. He'll have good games. He's gonna run.
Konami.
But then there's going to be games where he's like, man, this guy
stinks.
Not very good at throwing.
Right.
He's got a lot to work on. That's kind of how I feel about Malik Willis. He can be a Jalen Hurts guy, but is he going to be able to,
put it all together,
elevate?
Yeah. Is he going to be able to do it?
And another thing, the Panthers need offensive line. Taylor Moton's there, and I don't like putting a franchise quarterback on an offense that doesn't have a great offensive line. But I think the spark and Matt Rule's on his last leg. I think it makes sense as a GM to take a Malik Willis, so I don't necessarily hate it or anything.
Who would you take, offensive lineman here?
I would consider Charles Cross. That might be a little bit of a reach, but he would be definitely at the top of my board in terms of building up from the trenches. I think he'd be the best offensive tackle available, but Malik Willis would definitely be considered as well because of all the points that you mentioned. And I think it's fine. I'm not hating on it.
No, I understand.
Number 7, the New York Giants are back up on the clock. Travon Walker,
Ooh,
edge out of Georgia. Talking him going 1 or 2, I don't like that. I like him at number 7. He's like my 7th to 8th overall player. So at this point, he's the best available on the board for the Giants, and that shores up another need on defense. His edge, team him up with the Azeez Ojulari, and his ceiling's tremendously high. He's super raw though, but just getting him at 7's worth the gamble. I think he can be one of those good players. So I would take Travon Walker at 7 if I were the Giants.
Yeah, I like that. I think that would be a great way to start their draft, really, with 2 cornerstones on both sides of the line, man.
Right.
I think it's hard for me to see the Giants messing this up.
Yeah.
But they could. It would be very sad. But if they just go with, a lineman, an offensive lineman and defensive lineman, or, keep it simple, but pick the best guy available, I think they'll be fine. So I like that pick.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if, Ekwonu goes to the Jets at 4. Do you think they take a Sauce Gardner at 5 for the Giants? Or does he a guy that kind of slips? Because I don't see him slipping, but if he gets past the Jets, I don't know if that's something. I mean, with Bradbury and those guys still there.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to see.
I'm interested, yeah.
Number 8, this one might get some scrutiny. The Atlanta Falcons select Jermaine Johnson.
Wow.
An edge rusher out of Florida State. And let me tell you why I chose this as a GM.
Please.
I figure we're a bad team. We're still not going to win any games, even if we pick a playmaking great wide receiver. We have Marcus Mariota. We have Kyle Pitts, who's our cornerstone and the greatest player in Atlanta Falcon history.
Oh, wow.
But we need to get after the quarterback, man. That's step 1. We need to disrupt Tom Brady. We need to get after him. We're in a division that, we have to get after the quarterback. And we have 2 second-round picks. And the wide receiver market is deep. The players and the wide receivers, they're talented. So I would go with Jermaine Johnson.
I like
pass
it.
rusher.
Yeah, I'm on team Jermaine Johnson. I think he's a top 10 pick in my eyes, personally, as a prospect. His tools are just freak. He's a freak at the end of the day. And they haven't had a pass rush in years.
It's been quite some time.
Takk McKinley was a bust. Who is it? Dante Fowler's been there the last few years. He stinks. I think they only had 4 sacks as a team last year. So I think getting an edge,
That's bad.
it was brutal. So getting an edge, I think, is their biggest need, 100%.
Was Vic Beasley good?
Remember that one year where he was top
and then
5 in sacks, but they haven't had anyone as long as I can remember.
John Abraham.
Yeah, Abraham was the guy, probably.
That was a long time ago, I think.
So getting another guy like that, and Jermaine Johnson, and he'll be young, you need edge. I love it. Oh, that's a great pick. Number 9, Seattle Seahawks. I took Charles Cross, offensive tackle. I think we mentioned it in our last mock draft, a guy who could easily go number 9. This pick could be Derek Stingley. I did consider Derek Stingley here. High riser, could potentially go there in real life. I also considered a quarterback. But for me, I don't draft a quarterback unless I know my offensive line is shored up. So you just don't throw them to the fire. So before the Seahawks can really actually go after a good quarterback, they need offensive line. I think Dwayne Brown's gone. I honestly can't even name another offensive lineman. So I'm taking Charles Cross, best pass protector in the whole NFL draft. And he can play left tackle, go in there, franchise left tackle. And moving forward, then you can address your quarterback position now that you got a great offensive lineman.
Nice, I like that.
Thank you.
I don't have much to add, but
they have a lot of needs.
Yes, Seattle needs a lot, but what better place to start than with them slobber knockers up top?
Those trenches, man. You know I am.
Roof. With the 10th pick, the New York Jets are back up, and I am selecting Kyle Hamilton.
Ooh.
The safety from Notre Dame, the freak of leak.
Wow.
And again, for me, they did a lot of free agent moves for the offense. They drafted offensively. I would be hitting the defense, shore up that back line, and make sure it's a well-rounded team, not just offense heavy, relying on offense, but an evenly, because defense wins championships at the end of the day, if you know what I mean.
So you had Sauce at 4 to the Jets, and now Hamilton.
I'd be so happy if I was a Jets fan.
Would you?
I'd be so ecstatic.
So if you're the
because I love both of those players.
But if you're the GM and you draft Sauce and you see Kyle Hamilton, are you questioning it, or are you like, that's a home run pick? Like, are you like, we need to tackle, maybe we could go receiver? Or if you see Kyle Hamilton, are you, running the card up there?
I am running the card up there.
Okay.
Because to me, Kyle Hamilton is a game breaker. He's a gamer. He's a ball hawk. He's like a prototypical safety, like for the modern era of football. And he started, the draft process as like a top 5 pick,
Right.
And you're getting him at 10, and you already have Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, I mean, imagine like Sauce and Kyle Hamilton hitting their ceilings together.
Yeah, it would be disturbed and really cool to watch. Like,
have both of them for 4 or 5 years together.
Yeah, I would love that. So that's why I picked
Kyle
Hamilton.
That's very interesting, but I like it. I like the idea of it a lot, especially as a GM. I think if I was another GM on a different team, I'd probably give you like kudos.
Would you send me an email?
I'd probably send you a letter.
Thank you.
With a card with a little bear holding a heart on it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Number 11, the Commanders, Washington. Commanders. What do we do, man? Derek Stingley? Yeah, I considered it. I really did. But I took Garrett Wilson, receiver at Ohio State. Why did I do that? I did that because Carson Wentz needs weapons. Terry McLaurin's looking for an extension. Could possibly be moved. I think if you are Washington, you move Terry McLaurin. 27 years old. He's a great receiver, top 15 receiver, but to give him all that amount of money whenever you have the ability to draft a Terry McLaurin and Garrett Wilson at number 11, he can be a number 1. He can be your Terry McLaurin replacement. And you can get back some more draft capital for Terry McLaurin and replace him with the best receiver in the draft, possibly. And then just build from there. Or if not, if you want to give him a contract extension, you have a great duo that you've been looking for. Carson Wentz has no excuses to fail. So if I'm the GM of the Commanders, I'll have 2 different options here. Trade Terry McLaurin, get draft capital, get his replacement all at the same time. Or I can give him a little 3-year extension, nothing too crazy, and have a great duo. So I think it's a win-win drafting Garrett Wilson here. In my mind, even though I'm passing on a Derek Stingley, I think this makes sense with the Terry McLaurin situation.
Yeah, that was interesting. I was going to ask you a question, but you answered.
What was it?
Would you rather keep Terry McLaurin, or would you look to trade him?
If I'm the GM?
Yeah.
I'm looking to trade.
Oh, man, that's shocking.
Yes, I mean, I love him as a player, but like as a GM, it's about business. He's 27. Why give him an extension when I can get his replacement here?
How do we know?
Cheaper. And how do you know what?
We don't know Garrett Wilson's a for sure thing. We know Terry McLaurin. We've seen it. So he's like a hot commodity. That's why obviously he's asking for an extension. I think that's a big risk. That's asking a lot of a rookie.
But if my scout team, my eyes, my own scouting report says Garrett Wilson can be Terry McLaurin and maybe a little better. He can be Stephon Diggs light maybe. He can be the number 1. He can fill Terry McLaurin's role. He has the skills, he has the size. And that's how I would be looking at it. If I viewed Garrett Wilson as a Terry McLaurin type of player, I'm trading Terry McLaurin. I'm getting second rounders first. If I can get a first, I'm doing it because I can get his replacement and also fill another need and not having to pay $20-25 million a year.
I think Yeah, I mean that's great points, and you answered my question. I think just adding Garrett Wilson and hopefully keeping Terry McLaurin would be
That's true,
like
too.
the best scenario.
Yeah.
And they still have, Curtis Samuel. They have those Sims dudes.
Diami Brown last year.
Diami Brown. They have a lot of things, and giving Carson Wentz more targets is nice. But, that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for elaborating. I had a lot of questions when you first made the draft pick, but I see where your mind's going, man. I see where the gears are grinding in there.
Yeah, like I said, it just give you two options, so you're not, held back.
I like that. All right, for the 12th pick, the Minnesota Vikings. I select Derek Stingley.
Yeah.
From LSU, the cornerback. They've struggled.
Great pick.
Secondary. They got Patrick Peterson back, but, he's not going to be there forever. They need that cornerstone corner. And I think Derek Stingley, he's got the best feet I've ever seen on a corner. He's going to be a stud, I believe. And we can also call him Stingray Reef.
Stingray Reef, baby.
Because whenever you're on there, I mean, I don't have a good relationship with Stingrays personally, because they took away a father figure from me. Yeah. Steve Irwin.
Rest in peace, baby.
Rest in peace, gone but never forgotten.
Love.
That's
one of my favorite picks so far. I think if Derek Stingley gets to 12, you're Minnesota.
I mean, if I was the GM for the Vikings, I would be twerking on the table.
Yeah.
If Stingley fell there.
Yeah, he'd be pulling out the Larry O'Brien.
Tell you what, giant.
Good pick. Pick 13, Houston Texans. Evan Neal with their first pick, third overall. Pick 13, I'm looking to fill the trenches again, but on the defensive side. My opinion, a top 10 player in the draft, Jordan Davis is the pick.
Big JD.
Baby Mammoth.
I've almost forgot.
Yeah, I think Jordan Davis is one of those dudes that you can just plug and play. You can play right away.
100%.
He can, 3-4. He can play DT, nose tackle. He's fast enough to do those things. He can even rush the quarterback. And like I said, to build a great, franchise team, trenches, you shore up that defensive line, you shore up that offensive line with Evan Neal, and then you build from the inside out. And he's just one of those guys. I think he's going to be an amazing player. I mean, we saw it at Georgia, the way he tested at the combine. To get him here at 13 is crazy. Like, I don't know. He's just one of my favorite players in the draft, and I think he's a top 10 player overall in the draft. Because, I mean, we saw Derek Brown. You remember when he was a top 10 pick? I think he was number 9.
Yeah. Jordan
Davis can be freakier than Derek Brown.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, Derek Brown's one of the best run defenders in the NFL. He's an amazing athlete. But I think Jordan Davis can add, a pass-rushing element with his speed and with his hands, man. He's almost unblockable. So, Texans hammer Jordan Davis.
Yeah, I like that pick. And I also think if they pick Jordan Davis, he will become the immediate fan favorite of the Houston Texans faithful.
Yeah.
Because he's like a big friendly giant. You can't not love the guy. Baby Mammoth.
He would, anywhere he goes, he'll be a fan favorite. He's must watch. You know?
So I would love that. That would make me, slightly like the Texans more.
Just get the two biggest players in the draft, Evan Neal, Jordan Davis.
And have them hug.
Gotta love that, dude. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, man.
I bet you if they hugged, it'd sound like two walruses playing hotcakes.
Yeah, dude, that'd be like, your toast burning in the oven.
Wait, two walruses playing patty cake.
Oh, gosh.
All right. The 14th pick, Baltimore Ravens. This might shock a few of you. I'm selecting Devin Lloyd.
Really?
Yeah. Devin Lloyd from Utah, the linebacker. I don't really have a lot of logic behind this one, but he strikes me. I feel Raven. He just seems like a Raven to me.
Oh, you want those players, huh?
Yeah, he just seems like, I don't know. They always have a great linebacking core, and I mean Patrick Queen is good. I just think Devin Lloyd is that guy, man. He can be a leader of a defense.
I agree.
And he's a dog, and he just, I don't know, something about the purple and black. I don't know, he just he'd represent them so well. So I have Devin Lloyd to
I really
Baltimore.
like the fit for some reason. I don't think it's been mocked anywhere, but to get him at 14, he's a great player. But just having because he's super fast, athletic, and so is Patrick Queen.
Yeah, them flying around like.
And he's like so athletic to where he can even like rush the passer. He can drop back in coverage. Like he can be opposite of Owe, almost if you want to play him on the edge in certain packages. And I know they have Tyus Bowser, the Houston linebacker, but I mean Devin Lloyd would be an upgrade, way over. So I like it. He does feel like a Raven,
doesn't he?
Yeah, Devin Lloyd.
I don't know. He just ever since I've seen him, I be like he looks like a Raven to me.
Yeah, I like it. That one's interesting. Pick 15, Philadelphia Eagles. They need a receiver. Oh, this is only the second receiver drafted so far. So
we're at 15.
A little different.
Yeah.
Drake London.
Oh, pretty boy Slim.
Yeah, I mean his pro day was crazy. Just looking at it, he can high point. He's fast. He's a good player.
Why won't he run the 40?
That's a good question. Probably because he runs a 4.7.
Yeah, I
4.6,
think so. Which is fine.
Which is not an issue.
Yeah, it's not an issue. I think he's just self-conscious about his speed.
Which is I mean that's okay, but he might. To me, he might be a slower version of Mike Evans.
What did Mike Evans run?
What, probably 4.6.
Oh,
if I had to guess, high 4.5s.
Yeah, he probably runs a 4.7 then.
Yeah, he probably runs like a 4.68, which is cool. Drake London doesn't need to be a burner. Getting on the board, just a special guy in terms of his size and his ability to break tackles, something that the Eagles are lacking. The Eagles are looking at receiver here at this pick, and I think with Drake London here, he adds something opposite of Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith's a great contest catch guy. He makes amazing, spectacular catches, but he doesn't have the height, the weight of a Drake London in the red zone, down the field. And just them complementing each other perfectly. I think Drake London would be a home run pick for the Eagles.
Yeah, everyone keeps making a big deal about how the Eagles are going to take another wide receiver in the first round for the third year in a row. What's the big deal about that? Why is that such a big deal? Who cares?
Yeah.
People are making it a troll type thing, but I think,
I think it makes sense. It depends. I don't know. Do you take Chris Olave? Do you take Jameson Williams? I think if I'm the Eagles, I really only consider Drake London because he was available here. He's a guy that was projected to go top 10. A bunch of other GMs love him. So if I'm the Eagles and Drake London's here, I would probably take him. But am I going to take, Olave over a Trent McDuffie or another need, an edge rusher? I don't know.
I don't mind it. Why not? To me, as a GM, I have no problem taking, Jalen Reagor hurts a little bit, but that actually make me shy away from it. But yeah, I like the Drake London pick.
Thanks.
Slim Boy, what was it? What was his nickname?
Not sure, honestly.
Oh, Pretty Boy Slim.
I like it.
Thank you.
USC native.
Yo, Long Leg Larry. Long Leg London.
Okay. That's
16.
Good. I like it.
16th pick. New Orleans Saints. I'm selecting Chris Olave.
Okay.
The wide receiver from Ohio State. To pair with Michael Thomas. They had a trial run with, Marquise Callaway. What's the other? Tyquan Smith. And it just didn't work out. They're not the big play guys. They don't have the ability. And Olave is a deep threat. Michael Thomas is more of the short, intermediate guy. And I think they're a great pair to be matched together for Jameis Winston in this New Orleans Saints offense. I would love it. I would love the combo of this.
Yeah, I like it. I think it makes sense with the Saints having 2 first. I think receiver's a big need. You need to upgrade. And I think Chris Olave is a beast. So we've been saying that. Getting him at 16, I think, is a great pick. 17, Los Angeles Chargers. We've been hammering this pick, the last few weeks. Trevor Penning. I know, it's a boring pick. Same old stuff. But like you said, we got to protect Justin Herbert. Get your franchise right tackle. I know Trevor Penning has some question marks, but I think with only having one first-round pick, your biggest need is tackle. Trevor Penning's the best here. So let's go get him, man. I'm taking Trevor Penning to the Chargers.
The only question mark that I have for Trevor Penning is his pants aren't brown enough after the game.
They need to be a little darker?
Yeah, we need to get it stinky up in there. But that's the only question mark. I think that's a great pick. Other than that, that's the only question mark I have for him.
I'm not going to lie. I also considered a receiver. Just because I don't know, man. I like the Trevor Penning pick because I think it fills a need, but I don't know. I'm starting to dig a little deeper on Trevor Penning, and he can get pushed around a little bit. He gets beat. I know he's super aggressive and super handsy, but like if Olave or Drake London was here for the Chargers, I would have considered it.
Interesting. I would think the safe bet is offensive lineman for the Chargers.
Which is ultimately why I decided to do it.
All right, pick 18, Philadelphia Eagles as their GM. I select Trent McDuffie.
Yes.
Cornerback out of Washington.
Yes, sir.
We've been beating a dead horse with this one. Secondary stinks.
Okay.
Luke knows it. I know it. We all know it.
Okay.
Philly fans, don't come at me. It's the truth. The truth hurts, but we're going to solve it with this pick. And you can thank me later as your GM.
Yeah, I really like this pick. I'm really starting to warm up on Trent McDuffie. I think he's a top 15 pick in the draft. In my personal opinion, I think he can be one of the best slot corners in the NFL in a few years. I think he's going to be one of those guys. He's very physical, very, good closing speed, and he doesn't back down. So I think it's a great fit for the Eagles, with Darius Slay and Avonte Maddox. I would be happy with it. It's a good pick. Number 19, the Saints. Get the second pick, man. Olave's off the board. The first one, I took Devontae Wyatt here, defensive tackle. I know they could use offensive line, but with Trevor Penning going to the Chargers, I'm taking the best defensive tackle, the best defensive lineman available, Devontae Wyatt out of Georgia. He fills the need. Defensive tackle, I know they got Onyemata, they got Tuttle, but I think Devontae Wyatt's one of those, he's a beast. I mean, this guy, he's nice. You watch the film, cut on the film, you see Jordan Davis, but then you see Devontae Wyatt being just as disruptive. And the Saints, they're a trenches type of team. Their offensive line's good outside of one tackle. But Devontae Wyatt's a stud. So I think he's a good fit here for the Saints.
Yeah, I like that pick.
Thank you.
With the 20th pick, Pittsburgh Steelers.
QB?
Oh, I might make a little some people sour with this one. Everyone's looking for Kenny Pickett. And I am not going to pick Kenny Pickett. I am taking Dax Hill.
Wow.
The safety.
From Michigan.
I've been thinking about it as the GM. Kenny Pickett has small hands.
Baby hands.
We've been talking about this.
Prosthetic hands.
It gets cold in Pittsburgh. You know what happens to hands in cold? They shrink.
Good point, yeah.
So imagine baby hands plus baby hands equals
gloves.
Miniature pinchers.
Yeah, I like not going Kenny Pickett. But did you consider a Desmond Ridder? Did you consider Matt Corral here? Because you're putting your chips in on Trubisky being the guy, which is fine.
You paid him.
Okay.
You paid him. You still have Mason Rudolph. I'm not.
Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins.
People are coming with pitchforks and torches. We need to draft a QB. I think it's pump the brakes, see what you got in Trubisky. If worse comes to worse, Mason Rudolph. I I would have liked to seen Dwayne Haskins rest in peace.
Man.
Untimely loss. That would have been
sad.
That would have, he probably would have been my starter as the GM.
Okay,
at
fair.
the end of the off season. Gone too soon, but yeah, I just think it's, let's not just totally reach and pick like the golden boy from Pittsburgh University, just because let's get the most talented guy out there and not reach. I just feel like it's a safer pick, and the Steelers are better than being desperate, I think.
Yeah, I love it. I love Dax Hill, man. I really like him as a prospect.
He's shooting up like a
I'm happy
launcher.
to see him at 20. I really am, dude, because he can play everywhere. He's a ball hawk. He's just an incredible player. And he can play that position next to Mika Fitzpatrick, and that defense has no holes. Their defensive line's good. TJ Watt, their linebackers are fine. Their corners are good. But having that missing link next to Mika Fitzpatrick, having a guy that can kind of play every position, corner, linebacker, safety, and Dax Hill, he's just a perfect Pittsburgh Steelers type of guy. I like the pick. I really do. I'm happy to see him go here. So I'll give you kudos for that. Pick 21, New England Patriots. I took Andrew Booth, corner out of Clemson. He's a stud. They got rid of J.C. Jackson, and there's no way, if I'm the GM, that Jalen Mills is starting at corner. I look at my depth chart, I see Jalen Mills is still on the team starting. Who's the best corner in the draft available right now? And in my opinion, it's Andrew Booth. He's a stud. Clemson corner. You put on the tape, he's big. He's a big size guy. He can high point the ball. He just got the tools. And I think the Patriots, love a guy like that. A J.C. Jackson replacement, much cheaper, and can be very solid for you.
Yeah, I like that pick. I kind of want to see them pick a wide receiver, but I know that they probably won't.
If you were the GM, would you take a receiver?
Yeah.
In the first round?
Yes.
Interesting.
I'd take Treylon Burke.
Even if you got Devontae Parker?
Yes.
All right.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, you might get Devontae Parker for like 1 year, but...
All right, for the 22nd pick, Green Bay Packers. We're going to butter Aaron Rodgers' buns with this one.
Okay.
As the GM. Jameson Williams, wide receiver from Alabama, the speedster, the speed merchant, whatever you want to call him, man. Yes, he's coming back from ACL injury, but that guy's got burners.
Right.
That guy can take the top off a defense. I'm not quite sure that Aaron Rodgers had someone with this kind of speed and athleticism, and it would be an amazing sight to see and a great combo, if you ask me. I would just love to see it, man. We need to help Aaron Rodgers out. Help me help you.
Yeah, having a player like Jameson Williams at 22 for a receiver-needy team, I think, that's a smash spot. He can be a stud down the field. He's a beast.
I'll tell you what.
So I like that, man. Get your QB locked up, man. Pick 23, Arizona Cardinals. They got a few needs. I did consider receiver here. But I took George Karlaftis, edge out of Purdue.
Greek man.
Big guy, handsy. Cardinals, they need edge. They really do. Isaiah Simmons, not really an edge. They lost Chandler Jones. This is basically Chandler Jones' replacement. He's hardworking, he's nitty-gritty, and you need edge in the NFL. So Arizona takes George Karlaftis. And I've seen him rise, man. He's starting to go, around, pick 15 in that range. So getting him at 23, I think the Cardinals are very happy with this pick. And I would be too if I was a GM.
I like the pick, especially since he comes from a long line of Greek philosophers.
Yeah, Socrates.
He's also related to Heraclitus and
Herculean?
Heraclitus.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. He's probably a very bright guy and very well-rounded.
I think Zeus was somewhere down the line, too.
He's a Greek god, but that's fair. Pluto.
Yeah, one of those guys.
There's a guy that slept under a barn. Pick 24. Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, sir.
I ain't no GM. I'm Jerry Jones.
Okay, Jerry, let's hear it.
Boye Mafe, the defensive end, edge. We lost Randy Gregory.
Ooh.
We need someone that can get after the guy, and I love Boye. I love Boye like my own son. I love Boye like I love Chef Boyardee.
Yeah.
I like Boye like I like Goya beans.
Okay.
I love this guy, man. I want him to babysit my children.
Nice.
But on the field, I want him to be a ruthless, merciless. How do you say that word?
Merciless?
Whitney Merciless.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I just think that as the GM, I would want to get after the quarterback. They seem pretty solid in their skill positions and stuff. They got Micah Parsons as well on the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it just based off getting an edge like that. You can kind of move Micah Parsons around. You don't necessarily have to play him on the edge. You can move him back to linebacker. You know, let him play the run a little bit more. Let him play in pass coverage. And Boye Mafe could be that guy. You know, he's a lot of upside for a guy at pick 24. And I like it. I think that's a good pick for Dallas. 25 Buffalo Bills. I considered Breece Hall here, fellas, the running back. I really did. But I don't take running backs in the first round.
Ay.
I take trenches.
Ay, caramba.
Zion Johnson, guard out of Florida State for Buffalo. I think if Andrew Booth was still available, I think that's a good pick for Buffalo. I think you could also take a receiver here, but I don't think that's their biggest need. I think Zion Johnson's a perfect fit. He can play guard. He can play center. He can start right away. But I think just the versatility on probably the best team in the AFC, very strong contenders this year. You need those trenches, especially with Josh Allen and the cold weather games. Zion Johnson's a good pick here, and I'm taking it.
I like it.
If he gets by like the Cowboys and Cardinals, but give me Zion Johnson.
I love all Zions. Pick 26, Tennessee Titans.
Yes.
I'm the GM. I've had it up to here with Tannehill, man.
No,
the guy's a wide receiver. The guy can't even throw the ball. He throws a pick on the first play of a playoff game, So I had enough. He's gone. He's not going to be my starter. That guy stinks.
Oh, no.
You could put that guy on ice, and he still stinks. That guy smells like poop. I'm drafting what you guys may not think is the best pick, but I love this pick better than anything in the world. Desmond Ridder.
Oh, my.
From Cincinnati.
Woo!
He blew it out of the water in the scouting combine. I think, he's kind of what the NFL is going towards in terms of athleticism. He's got, he's got the resume in college. He led the Cincinnati Bearcats to the playoff, Not a lot of people can do that. He's got that special gene in him, and I like that. I like winning, and I think he's a winner. He may look like he's 57 and just got laid off his job, but that's beside the point. He's a player. He's a baller. I can't, have another minute with Tannehill under center. I need Desmond Ridder. That's all I'm going to say, and that's final.
Wow. Yeah, that's very unexpected. I mean, wow, I'm shocked. I mean, he's got the moxie, man, like you said, the Titans don't have a lot of needs, so I can see them drafting a quarterback.
That one probably hurt you, man, being a Tannehill fan.
I'm not a Tannehill fan. I mean, the pick makes sense, but it's just, after giving Tannehill all that money just to get
They gave him money?
Yeah, remember the extension, 2 years ago?
How long was the extension?
2 more years? I think it's a good pick, though. I'm going to be honest with you.
God, how can you pay that guy?
I'm going to be honest. I like it. I think you could go receiver, you could go linebacker, you could go offensive tackle. But I think Tannehill isn't that good. And I think Desmond Ridder potentially could be, a really solid player. Shoot, he ran a 4.5. And, I mean, he didn't perform very well against the good teams, but I think if you can sit him behind Tannehill, I know you probably drafted him because you don't want to see Tannehill, but if he can sit, and then it's like, okay, Tannehill stinks, let's give Ridder a shot, and he ends up being a good player, then this makes that team that much better.
I don't want my newly drafted quarterback to be sitting under a wide receiver, Tannehill. I wouldn't pay Tannehill minimum wage if I was the GM. I'd have him sweeping up after the boys after the showers, scrubbing the toilets. That guy has no place on this team.
So, in my opinion, I know, but like Kenny Pickett's still available. He's probably more NFL ready than Ridder is.
I like the upside of Ridder.
But even starting day one?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of
But
Pickett.
I don't know if Ridder comes in and makes you a better team. Like the Titans can win the Super Bowl,
No, yeah, I'm not saying that I was just kidding about really making Ridder the starter.
Oh, okay.
Tannehill will, of course, go into camp being the likely starter. But if things happen, things happen. If he breaks both legs in an accident weird way, I don't know. I'm just saying he's the future, and Tannehill's isn't gonna lead the Tennessee Titans to the promised land.
No, 100%. I mean, if you're the GM of the Titans and you see Ridder as a guy who can be his replacement, like I'm cool with the pick because I mean Tannehill's nothing special, So I like it. I think QB is a need in Tennessee, so I'm cool with the pick. Really.
You ever burn your hand on a stove?
I have.
What happens?
You start feeling it. You start licking on it a little bit. It starts to turn red.
Do you do it again right after?
I probably have before, man.
Tennessee Titans keep putting their hand on the dang stove by bringing back this Tannehill guy and expecting him to take him to the promised land. I'm going to leave it at that. That's enough of Tannehill talk.
But I mean, Tannehill has moments, though, man. He has games where it's like
they're not gonna win a Super Bowl with Tannehill. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Unless he throws like 5 passes every game in the playoffs and just hands it to Derrick Henry and screens to Robert Woods, maybe. A.J. Brown every now and again.
If he could just be a Mac Jones. Pick 27.
Mac Jones is already better.
That was kind of a little bit of shade. I didn't mean it in a shady way, but I just remember that one snowy game where Mac Jones only threw, 6 passes?
That was awesome.
Tampa Bay, pick 27, Kenyon Green, guard out of Texas A&M.
Gig 'em.
Ali Marpet retired. I know they traded for Shaq Mason for literally nothing. Shout out to that. Great move. But Kenyon Green can start, play guard, play center, play tackle, whatever. And depth. I mean, for these contending teams, man, you got to get depth. TB12's back in action. Protect them. I consider Jahan Dotson. I know he's a receiver still on the board. But, I mean, Russell Gage, Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller. I mean, even if Chris Godwin's not back yet, you don't necessarily need to find a replacement or a receiver that early in the draft. I think getting Kenyon Green is way more important, and he's a first-round talent type of guy. So, Kenyon Green to Tampa Bay at 27.
I like that pick. I don't have much to add. I don't really like talking about Tampa Bay.
No problem. Let's move on.
But thank you. That was a good pick. 28, Green Bay. Hey, I like to double dip at Mexican restaurants.
Hey, come on, man. You can't share that.
The pick that I would go with for the Green Bay Packers, Treylon Burke.
Whoa.
So you got Jamison Crowder. Jameson Williams. I'm sorry. Forgive me. And Treylon Burke. You got that speed merchant, and you got the big possession guy that can also make big plays. Aaron Rodgers would be happier than a pig in poop.
That's good.
They gave him that contract. They have never taken a wide receiver in the first round. They always tease him like that. This time they double dip on him. Like I said, he's a happy man, and he'll be looking forward to making those two young guys. And those guys could potentially be a scary duo.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. I don't know. I mean,
what's bothering you?
I mean, edge, defensive. I mean, Zadarius Smith replacement, maybe even offensive line.
Zadarius Smith doesn't need a replacement.
I mean, their defense has gotten weaker. I don't think it's super strong anymore. Like linebacker.
Who would you take? in this situation?
I mean, I don't know.
Ogaba?
I haven't really looked.
Obaga?
I haven't looked, but I think it's interesting, 100%. But I mean, Jamison Williams and Treylon Burks is crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers would, retire, riding off on a train.
That's what I'm saying. Like, might as well. I mean, you lost Devontae Adams. You don't. I mean, Lazard, Randall Cobb. Sammy Watkins.
He signed with Green Bay.
Okay, you got a guy that's gonna play 5 games a year.
Okay, fair.
Why not get younger? Get like really, really explosive, scary explosive.
I see it as a GM. I do see it. I mean,
man. I'm not playing around as GM, dude.
I'm cool with it.
I'm not getting boring in the trenches with A-Raj.
Okay, I respect it. It's fine. I like it. It's very interesting. I don't know how I would react to that in real life.
It's modern times, man.
Yeah, that's wild. Pick 29, Kansas City.
Stop talking in cursive.
Come on, man. I can barely speak English. Pick 29, Kansas City Chiefs. Jahan Dotson, receiver. I'm tired of the Christian Watson talk. I'm tired of Sky Moore. I mean, George Pickens, maybe. But that's not the guy you need, man. You need Jahan Dotson. If Jahan Dotson isn't on the Chiefs in real life and he's available, I'm sick.
He's not going to be there, is he?
If I see Christian Watson, if I see Tyquan Thornton, if I see George Pickens,
Sky Moore,
if I see Sky Moore get picked over Jahan Dotson,
it's not going to happen.
I'm going to puke in my shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would
it's
be
gonna
right there
happen.
with him. You think that's going to
happen?
happen?
It's going to happen. I can feel it. I feel it in the air.
Those are people trying to be trendy. The GMs that are trying to be trendy.
Oh, man. This would be another horrible pick, just like the Clyde Edwards-Helaire pick.
Hey, you better watch your tongue.
But if I'm the GM, Jahan Dotson's here, easy. I'm running it up there. Even if I'm on the toilet, leave my pants down, I'm getting it up there as soon as possible.
That Clyde Edwards thing's got my Will Smith hand a little antsy right now.
Yeah, well, keep it in your pants, because if it comes out, you picked him over Jonathan Taylor.
Ooh, that one does hurt.
I'll never let him live it down.
I didn't think Dotson would fall to 29 in a real draft.
Oh, really? I do.
You do? I thought he was like a middle round or...
I mean, early on, you saw like the Packers.
Yeah.
But now it's like the Christian Watson. I got to get Christian Watson.
Sky Moore.
Oh, I got to get, Sky Moore. George Pickens.
I'm telling you, they're trying to be trendy. They're trying to be like cute. But nah, you got to pick Jahan, man.
Jahan Dotson is the most surefire receiver at this point. Pick 29. Like, easy. Like, I'm running. Chiefs, perfect fit. If I'm the GM, Jahan Dotson.
For the 30th pick, I have the Chiefs and myself picking Arnold Ebiketie.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the edge.
Penn State,
man.
High riser, man. He's freak.
Yeah, they need some help with the pass rush, as we mentioned. I think we mentioned this in the mock draft, but I had them picking the Michigan guy, Obaga. What?
David Ojabo?
Yeah, that's what I had. But I know he's not. Like, as a GM, I wouldn't feel comfortable drafting a guy in the first round that just tore his Achilles.
Right.
So I'd go with a guy that's fully healthy and raring to go.
Yeah, Penn State and pass rushers. I mean, Micah Parsons last year was a guy.
Elway?
Yeah, Elway was another one. They just have, like, these freaks. And Arnold Ebiketie is rising. He'll be a first-round pick. I feel like the Chiefs are a good spot. The Packers maybe. I even considered them at Arizona. The Cardinals at pick 23. I like him. He's a freak. He's a high riser. Arnold Ebiketie, Penn State, Chiefs. Like it.
Yes.
Pick 31, Cincinnati Bengals. We did this in the first mock draft. Keeping it boring. Tyler Linderbaum, center, Iowa.
No, that's a good pick. I think that's a really good pick for the situation.
I mean, either him or
Breece Hall.
Kahir Elam.
Breece Hall.
No, Breece Hall's not going first round.
Come on, man.
Nah, no chance.
Let a boy dream.
No. If I'm the GM, no chance.
Come on, man.
Second round at the highest.
What about Bijan Robinson?
No.
Next year.
I'm not drafting running backs in the first round. They can have it.
He's not getting with the times.
No, it ain't gonna happen.
He still watches TV in black and white.
It ain't happening, mate.
A 32nd pick, Detroit. As a GM, I'm giving this pick to Dan Campbell. And Dan Campbell's giving this pick to his little nephew, Aaron Campbell. So, hey guys, it's me. Hi, I'm Aaron.
Hey, Aaron.
And I'm picking Matt Corral.
Ooish.
I'm doubling down. Pickett ain't getting picked in the first round. I'm going with Matt Corral. Just because, I like the upside. It's like the same thing I said for Desmond Ridder. I know he's coming off an injury. He played in the SEC. He held his own. I think he's got what it takes. I think he's got that gamer. Like I said, a lot of people are probably, up in arms that I'm not putting Kenny Pickett somewhere. Theoretically, you could just swap him out, but as GM and as Dan Campbell's nephew, Matt Corral.
Interesting. I would have considered Nakobe Dean.
Oh, Dean.
Yeah, I would have.
But I'm picking a quarterback here because you get that fifth-year option.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But if I was the GM, I wouldn't take a single quarterback. I think you took all three of the quarterbacks. I wouldn't. I think these are all second round or later type of guys.
That's why you'll always be a 500 team. You're not shooting for the moon.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it.
You'd probably be a bottom barreler.
Nah, because I would already have my quarterback.
What if your quarterback was Mason Rudolph?
It wouldn't be. I know what I'm doing, man.
See, we're living in a hypothetical world.
I also probably wouldn't have any receivers going high. No first rounder or no running backs. Because it's a offensive tackle and edge type of class, defensive line.
You're literally drafting for a 1950s Bears team.
Let's just be frank, man. This class isn't that good. It kind of stinks.
We don't know that.
Hey, I'm saying it, okay?
We don't know it until they play on Sunday.
But I'm just saying, you go into drafts knowing, this draft is loaded. I don't really see that in this class, man.
Yeah, but there's always those drafts that surprise you. They're like, man, this draft stunk, and then you see Sunday, dang, there's some Hall of Famers out here.
Maybe, but I'm just saying, going into it, I'm not super stoked. Last year was there's a lot of studs here, but, there's great players in every draft. That's just a fact. But I'm just saying, going into it, the QBs stink, the running backs aren't very good, the receivers aren't super deep. There's really good receivers.
I know what you're doing. As GM, you're just trying to keep your job.
No, as a GM,
you're not taking any risks because they can't fire you.
This isn't a...
Come on, man. I'm putting my neck on the line for the fans, man. I don't care about ownership, man. I'm doing what's best for the fans and for our future. And you're just playing...
I'm playing for the future.
You're playing status quo. Let's draft a slobber knocker here. It's going to take a couple years to develop, but bear with me. It's going to be a process, but we'll get there.
Yeah, but can you tell me which picks you would change? That's my question to you. Where would you take a running back? Where would you take a quarterback, receiver?
No, I think you drafted really well.
Yeah, so I may be old school, but I'm playing to what I think the team would need.
So you
succeed.
You would have never, if you had all 32 picks, you wouldn't have drafted one quarterback?
And if I was an actual GM, no, I wouldn't.
No, yeah.
No, I wouldn't. If I was the Lions, I wouldn't. If I was the Seahawks, I wouldn't. Because their O-line stinks. If I was Carolina, I wouldn't. Their O-line stinks. The only team, maybe the Saints.
Dude, you wouldn't survive.
I consider the Saints, maybe the Steelers, but that's it. I wouldn't.
It doesn't, I don't think it works like that. You can't just stack your O-line and then wait for this. You have to take a chance. You wouldn't last long.
Why, though?
You have to make that move.
So my question is, the Lions... They're doing it right?
Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, those were picks first-round picks.
Yeah, but these quarterbacks I look at, and these aren't first-round guys in my eyes. If I'm the GM,
people said that about Lamar Jackson. Everyone had questions about him, and they're like, is he even a quarterback?
Lamar. He was a first-round guy for me.
See,
These
this
guys
is all this is
No,
hindsight's 2020.
I'm telling you how I am. None of these guys are. I mean, I'm just saying. Like, I don't know why.
You don't know that
fine?
though. That's why they took the risk. Like Lamar was a risky pick at the time. Deshaun was a risky pick.
But we saw what he was in college. Like, we knew, like, if he could be like a freak. Like,
come on though. Hindsight's 2020.
What have we seen from these guys that say, oh, these guys could be Lamar Jackson? I don't really. I mean, they didn't show. I mean, Liberty.
All I'm saying is you wouldn't have. The way you're talking, you wouldn't have drafted Lamar Jackson coming out of college. You'd have been like,
no, just for this class. Like, Deshaun Watson is easy a top 10 pick at the time.
And you can't.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes was unsure.
You can't wait until your O line's really good and then draft your rookie quarterback.
That's what I would do. 100%.
That's not how it works. You have to.
Well, look at Detroit. What they did was they traded Stafford, which is fine.
Give me another example
they got
other than
back
Detroit.
Goff, and then they just hammered out their offensive line the last 3 years. And now, really, I mean, you could draft Malik Willis if you're Detroit because your O-line looks good.
So
but at the same time, like,
you wouldn't take
Malik Willis isn't like a top 2 pick, you know. So why would I?
But if you waited to 32, you still wouldn't draft a quarterback.
Yeah, I would 100.
Then that's a first round.
I would 100% consider that.
But you wouldn't.
But if it's Malik Willis, Malik Willis is there at 32, I would consider it. That's it, probably.
I think the GM has more pressure on him than you can. You can't just wait around. I think you have to make these moves.
I know, but we don't.
That's why they are taking
because
these quarterbacks aren't sure things. None of them. You said they're not very good.
Yeah, in my opinion, yeah.
Yeah, no, and I think in a lot of people's. But I'm saying, like as a GM, you can't sit back all the time and just wait to build. You're on like a short leash a lot of times. You have to make these moves and hope for you have to, what is it, like guesstimate really, and for potential. So that's why their job's super hard.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying for me personally, I wouldn't take them in the first round. That's me. I mean, that's fine.
I think you would.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
In any draft?
No, just in this draft, dude. These aren't first round guys in my eyes. But I understand the pressure. Like, a lot of these teams
have to be
need to have quarterbacks. I understand that. But for me, I don't have the pressure to take a QB.
So you're not going to you wouldn't take a QB if you did the whole mock draft yourself?
I would have considered Malik at 32. That's about it, I think. But I understand, like, real life's different. I mean, if I'm the same, I mean, yeah. I don't
as a GM, you're fine with all the quarterbacks? Like, if you're, like Carolina, you're fine with.
Yeah, I think the draft itself is fine. I think it's fine. I'm just saying, like, I don't have an issue with it. It's just my philosophy is different. But I think, like, having Malik at 6 is fine. Like, I think that's okay. Because what if he does come in and he's a stud? Now next year you can have, your first round pick be a left tackle, right tackle, and you're fine.
What's the most important position in football?
Quarterback, 100%. But you have to be able to, give them success.
We don't know that they're bad. Malik could be like one of the best. Kenny Pickett, for all we know, could be one of Desmond Ridder.
Yeah,
you're right. That's why GMs, your job is to do this.
See, I understand the concept, but for me, I think it's less.
You're not risky at all.
But it's less of a risk to just go ahead and get a left tackle, right tackle, than to gamble on your franchise with a quarterback. Like, if I can get Evan Neal or Ekamakwanu over Malik Willis, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
But that's gonna happen.
I know, but just hypothetically speaking, or even Charles Cross.
I'm just confused.
Why? What's confusing? I just don't think they're first round guys. I know.
I know they're. I don't think they are. I don't think they're great either.
But I understand. Like Carolina needs a QB. They have to get one. They need Baker, whatever. I understand that. Desmond, I like the Desmond. I'll give you credit for Desmond Ridder. I like the idea. I think that's good.
But you can't say that if you were the GM for the Panthers, you would wait. Like, you don't know what the other teams are gonna do, so you wouldn't take a quarterback.
For me personally,
like if you were actually the GM.
No, I think what I would do is I would probably draft, a Kwanu or Charles Cross, and then I would probably bring in Baker or Jimmy for 1 or 2 years as a bridge quarterback, and then get, if I'm bad enough, I can get Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud or like a, maybe a better QB prospect in the future drafts.
What about Pittsburgh?
See, Pittsburgh's interesting too because they 100% could take a quarterback, and I think you would consider it at 20, especially. But I just don't know, like, who is it? Desmond Ridder? Is it Corral? Because I mean, if Malik Willis is there at 20, I would probably take that. I would probably do that. But
what about Detroit?
At 32?
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it already.
But what if Malik is gone?
Yeah, I would consider it.
Consider what?
I would consider a QB or Nakobe Dean at this point. I mean, if I think Matt Corral, is the second best or third best QB, I would consider that.
I think this is like we're talking about like a perfect world.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Because it's not going to happen that way.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know it's not going to be that way, but I just don't think that would ever be a thing.
I'm just saying that I don't think. Like, I'm not saying even if, in real life, I'm just saying, like, for me personally, they're like second-round grades at quarterback.
Yeah, but even in.
But like, I do even think though teams will pick them in the first round because they need to. Like, their job's on the line. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it seems a little extreme to me.
What?
That you wouldn't pick a quarterback.
Oh, I said I would. I said not
at 32.
Yeah, I would. And 20.
That'll
maybe
never happen.
What?
That'll never happen. Yeah, even if the quarterbacks, like you said, and I agree 100% that they stink. They're not great quarterbacks that we know of. They're like second round grades.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't matter because the QB is the most important position in this league.
All right.
So they're very highly valued, even if they're not that good.
Yeah, I just think if I'm the GM and I don't love the quarterbacks, and I know if it hurts me, because, I mean, that can set back your franchise even longer than just taking, like, Kenyon Green or Karlaftis. If you just took a Matt Corral in the top 20 knowing that he's probably not the guy, I think you dig yourself a deeper hole.
Interesting.
In my opinion, I mean, they could all 4 or 5 be really good quarterbacks.
It makes sense, and I'm not like saying that it's just interesting to me that.
Because I mean, but
I think there might be more quarterbacks like Kenny Pickett could find his way in the first round.
Yeah, he will be a first rounder.
So I don't know.
But for me, my mock draft, I would not. He's not. There's no chance. 0 chance.
You got to take a chance, man.
No, dude. Maybe I'm not risky enough, which is fine. But I also, at the end of the day, I don't think every team is super QB needy. I mean, Trubisky's fine for now. Jared Goff's fine for now. Jimmy G's fine for now. Drew Lock, I mean, if you draft a QB, you're basically drafting Drew Lock. I mean, Drew Lock could be a good quarterback, all things considered. I mean, he's still a project, just like a rookie quarterback would be. I mean, Tannehill's fine. Like I said, I just don't know if these guys can come in right away for the QB-needy teams and be that guy. All these guys need 1 or 2 or 3 years to sit. I mean, I don't think they can.
Maybe just not in the first round.
Yeah, exactly. All 4 or 5 of these guys would probably be in the second round for me. Just not in the first. That's too rich.
Yeah, this is just what the NFL is,
Yeah, it'll happen.
You have to reach for the.
It'll happen. Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, man.
Desmond Ridder will be in the top 20. Matt Corral, could go to 32.
Is that it?
That's it, man. We wrapped it up. First round mock draft.
That's probably the last one, huh, or what?
Yeah, probably.
All right, well, I wanted to dive into something.
All right, man, let's do it.
NBA playoffs is going on, man.
Yes, sir.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Are the Warriors looking scary again? Are they looking to make the title run? Are you not enough evidence yet?
No, they are. Warriors are there. They're back.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, the Nuggets aren't very good, but the Golden State just looks like they're rolling right now, man. Jordan Poole is a different animal right now, and maybe they should keep Steph as a 6-man.
Yeah, what do you have, 16?
Yeah, Jordan
Andrew
Poole.
Wiggins played well.
Yeah.
I know their small lineup was really effective.
Yeah.
And Denver I don't think they have the supporting cast for this series, but I'm thinking about the Warriors, like, can they go head-to-head with the Suns?
Phoenix, yeah.
It should be, if they're still clicking, don't sleep on the Warriors.
Yeah, they're right up there with Phoenix, man. They could probably take Phoenix.
You think so?
I'm starting to think like that. Watching Phoenix, they destroyed the Pelicans, but offensively, they don't really turn the page for me. They kind of run the same sets. They're kind of boring offensively, if we're being honest.
Yeah, because CP3 is kind of like...
It's pick and roll.
Creature of habit. But I don't think the Warriors have the size. But what's weird? The Suns aren't really that good at rebounding.
No, they're not. Because they don't really have... it's Ayton, and Cam Johnson's not a strong rebounder. JaVale McGee's not really a strong rebounder.
So there is a chink in the armor.
There is.
So it should be interesting going forward. But the best game one that we've seen in quite some time, the Nets versus Celtics, went down to the wire. Kyrie was flipping birds left and right. Jason Tatum was having a coming out party. Marcus Smart had a really good game. Jaylen Brown. I'm just glad that the Celtics lived up to the hype. I was kind of scared they could crater, and I'm also happy the Nets lived up to the hype. We didn't know what the dynamics were going to be, but it looks like it's going to be a clash of the Titans in the first round. I got a question for you. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You can ask me first.
Is the next game a Durant revenge game?
Yeah, I think so. I think we see Durant kind of come out. I know they're kind of hunkering down. Just stop Durant. We're not going to let him get 30-plus, 40-plus, but he had a poor shooting night. I expect him to bounce back and shoot better. Definitely 100%. But, I can see him, having one of those. It's a must-win game. If we're being honest, if the Celtics get up 2-0, it's going to be hard to come back from that because of their defense. And they're kind of clicking. I know people are saying the Celtics are clicking right now. This game one, gives them that confidence moving forward. But I don't think so. I think the Nets didn't have their best performance. I
agree.
I know Kyrie was really, really good, but we're gonna see a better Nets in this series in a few games. But maybe the Celtics are clicking, but we still haven't seen the best Brooklyn Nets either. Even if Ben Simmons comes back, what do we see out of that? Their team, it definitely makes their team better. So I'm excited, man. This is Game 7 written all over it.
I think Durant should come to the game with a black cloak on.
Yeah.
With whatever that thing is, the Grim Reaper outfit.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah. And then I think he drops like a 4. I think he's really going to have a revenge game. Like, he's one of the easiest players to predict a revenge game.
Yeah.
Because he's
so good that.
Yeah, he's not gonna shoot that bad 2 games in a row.
What was he, 9 for 24?
Yeah, and you never see that.
That's not happening again.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. I really like how Kyrie and the Celtics fans have a hate relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually proud of Kyrie.
I don't think so. I think we're gonna disagree.
Yeah, that's fine. I think I'm one of the few that supports Kyrie.
Okay.
I think, it's hard being a player and hearing some crazy talk while you can't do anything and it seems, and the bird was kind of harmless, and he's been hearing this for a couple seasons now, and I just, I think it's harmless, a little bird here and there. A little, yo mamas, it's fine. But I just like how, Kyrie's kind of really opening up now. He used to be an enigma. We're kind of getting to peel back the curtain on him.
True.
He's kind of, he's opening up at press conferences. He's cursing on the mic.
Mm.
We're getting the inside scoop on Kyrie. And I like that, the FU attitude that Kyrie's coming with to the Celtics fans.
Yeah,
sticking it to him.
I appreciate that. I think it's cool, like having that, kind of animosity towards each other, because obviously they both don't like each other. But Kyrie Irving brought all this onto himself.
True.
He did all. True. He deserves all of the booing, all of the yelling. I mean, save the racist slurs, man. Don't ever bring that up. But he deserves the FUs. He deserves all that. Just what he did to that organization. You know, expecting to re-sign. Yeah, we'll be back 3 years, whatever, and then leaves. Goes to a rival team, Brooklyn Nets, and he hasn't done anything to treat him nicely. I understand the hate towards him as a Celtics fan, so I don't feel bad. I like the fact that he's, opening, showing his true feelings, his true emotions. I always appreciate that of anyone, but I don't like the fact that he's trying to play victim when it's all basically his what's it called when you get in trouble, and you knew you were gonna get in trouble, but you did it anyway, and you got in trouble. Not disobey. The consequences. He knew the consequences.
Yeah, I think he knows he's got a $50K fine coming in the mail real soon.
Yes.
Should the Rockets fans boo Harden?
No.
Because he did good things in Houston?
Yeah, I see, that's a tough question because I can see both sides of that.
That's what I'm wondering. Kyrie, didn't play a lot for Boston.
I think that situation's different a little bit.
I think it's definitely different, but James Harden gave up.
Yeah, he did.
I guess he didn't promise us anything.
That was a bad situation, I think.
And he's one of the best Rockets of all time. Kyrie
he played 9 years.
Yeah, Kyrie was there for, 2 years?
Yeah, 1 year, 1 or 2 years. But to me, those situations are similar but different because, what Harden did in those 9 years, the runs that we made, the love that we showed and he showed to us, I just think we had that relationship to where, it ended on a bad note. And, which is fine. Not everything gets to be, sweet. But just the whole I feel like Kyrie always had, a bad taste in Celtics' mouth. He missed a lot of games with injuries. The whole, weird spiritual thing that,
Sage.
old Boston and white people are going to feel some type of way about that. So I don't think they ever built up that relationship that the Rockets fans did with Harden. So, I don't think we should boo, but I can understand why you would want to on how he just wanted to leave. But you also got to realize those 9 years he played with us, the things that he did with the organization. And, he showed love. It's not like he was like, I hate this place, I'm getting moved. He was like, I'm very thankful for being able to play here 9 years, tremendous run.
Clutch City never forgets.
Yeah. I think it's, I wouldn't boo or cheer. I think it is what it is.
Speaking of James Harden, he had a lackluster scoring performance, but he added 14 assists and only 1 turnover against the Toronto Raptors, and they won. But he's not even the headlines of this game. Tyrese Maxey just went nuclear.
Yes, sir.
I think we're seeing. I knew he would blossom, but I did not think he would blossom like this. Joel did his thing. It looked like, the Sixers are just too talented for the Raptors.
Yeah.
There's just too much. And adding insult to injury, Scotty Barnes.
Ouch.
Yeah, he's out game 2.
It could have been a lot worse, so it's nice that it was only a sprained ankle.
Yeah, but he'll be out. You think just a couple games maybe?
Yeah, he might miss.
Stick a fork in him.
It was bad. Joel fell, and it could have really been bad, but. It's nice to see the young NBA stars kind of showing out. Maxey, Edwards we'll get to, and it's just cool, man. The NBA's in a great spot. But Maxey, golly, he couldn't be more efficient. He couldn't be more. He's just very good.
He's a ball player.
He's darn good, man. That guy is special.
Yeah, but keeping the young stars of the NBA in the spotlight, the series. The Grizzlies versus the T-Wolves.
Okay.
I have a question for you. Is this a rivalry brewing between these two that we're going to see for years to come, considering they're young, up-and-coming teams? They already don't like each other. It's going to be like the Lakers Kings of the early 2000s or the Jazz Rockets, like one of those rivalries. Are you seeing that, or is this just like a,
I can see it, but I just think it's playoff basketball.
We need a rivalry like that
we
again.
do, but I think just nowadays with the young kids, they're not really trying to beef. I feel like they're more friendly than anything.
No, they're beefing. Patrick Beverley wants all the smoke.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, Patrick Beverley's not going to be there for, 2-3 years. I think if he was, maybe it would, continue. But I feel like, just both of those teams are super young. They're going to be in the league together for a long time. With the young kids nowadays, I just don't see like a beef brewing, a brawl, a fight, beef. I just don't see it.
Yeah, but like Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and like if you see like they add on to the antics kind of that Patrick Beverley does. Like I've seen Karl Anthony like stare at the scoreboard as the game's ending. Like they do. They do things.
But that's kind of like passive aggressive. I know Anthony Edwards is a guy who won't back down to anything. We've seen that. But I just don't see. I mean, you don't see like Marcus Morris or PJ Tucker. Like an enforcer, a guy who's going to be in the middle of every situation. It's more just like passive aggressive stuff. Talking back and forth, maybe a little bump, staring at the scores table. Yelling at the ground after you dunk on somebody. It's stuff like that.
He took his soul.
Oh, gosh. That was absolutely...
That should be the reason there's a rivalry. He took your soul, JJJ. You got to get it back.
That was... I'd never expect Cat to do anything like that. That was incredible. But I just don't see it nowadays. I don't see like a beef like that. Just playoff basketball.
We need rivalries, especially a Western Conference rivalry.
Yeah, and it'd be cool because like they're young teams, so like it'd be like a 10-year rivalry.
We've almost had a few, like Clippers Rockets was a thing.
Yeah, Utah, Houston,
Utah, and I guess not really Nuggets. That was like the bubble.
Cleveland and was it the Bulls, Celtics?
I mean, it was Cleveland and
Golden
Warriors.
State.
But that was East-West.
Yeah, that's true. You don't really see it as much anymore.
I mean, there is a rivalry in the East.
Who
by default.
Who?
Philly and Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
they have to be rivals.
Yeah, they do. They get physical. That's for sure. But they're just
they got some old school guys in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of. They've been around.
Yeah. They're a little older
Kyrie,
teams.
James, Joel.
Yeah, that's true. And then the Nets and the Harden stuff and Ben Simmons.
All right, moving on to another Western Conference series. The Jazz versus the Mavs. Luka is out for Game 2. Is this a must-win for the Mavs without Luka? For you, in your opinion?
Yeah.
And I think so too, because even if they get Luka back, he's not going to be 100%.
No, he's not.
So it's like you're going to be playing with a one-legged Luka, because I assume he's going to play Game 3 if they're down 2-0. But if they get 1-1, maybe he gets one more game of rest, and then maybe they get a little more of Luka. So I think it's a must-win. But Don Mitch, he's that guy in the playoffs. I think he averages 28 points and I think minimum of 20 playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
He's very inefficient though, so I don't know if this is like, Spider Mitchell or, Diaper Mitchell.
Yeah, I don't. Neither of these teams are really that good. I feel like if Luka was able to play the series though, like Dallas is the better team. But it's definitely a must-win game. Game 2 is must-win without Luka because it can show that you can get a game out of Utah without having Luka. And you need to steal a game. You have to before Luka gets back, or you'll be down 2-0, maybe 3-0.
Might be too little, too late.
Yeah, and you're playing at home those first 2 games, and you're going back to Utah for 2 games. It's gonna be hard to steal some games there. So you got to get this game in Dallas. If not, a little too late. Luka comes back, 70-80%. It'll be too late.
Who's the guy on Utah that stands on stilts the whole game?
That must be Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he had an outstanding game. Nah, dude, he was really good.
He doesn't deserve that money. Give it back.
No, he does, dude.
You pay no.
He affects the game.
What is he making? $30 million a year?
He's the best defender in the NBA. I mean,
I don't think he deserves that money though.
Why though? It's
I
two
don't
sides of the
we
ball.
always talk about it. I'm angry man when it comes to
Two
Gobert.
sides of the ball, man. Pay him.
You know what his nickname is?
Stifle Tower.
Sherbert Gerbert.
Yeah, that's good and delicious.
Ostrich leg Larrick. Let's go to the East.
Sure.
The Hawks playing the Heat. Man, and the Heat just beat up on Trae Young, man. That little boy, lollipop head.
Yes, sir.
I think he's coming back to earth. And when you play against bullies, you're going to get bullied a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
He's always used to bullying. For some reason, he reminds me like a small, little, inconspicuous villain. Okay. He looks like one.
He does.
And he's always egging on the crowd. And it's getting old, and I'm glad that the Heat just literally, like, put him on the ground. You have to be physical with him. And when you put him on the ground and he stands up and his hair's all wild, man, you can't be afraid of someone that looks like that.
Fair.
So you have to put him in his place. And I think you cut off the head of the snake, and that's what the Heat know they have to do. And they have the best people to throw at him. Lowry, Bulldog, Jimmy Butler, Buffet, PJ Tucker. Sorry.
Yeah, Trae Young's like a villain off Wizard of Oz. He projects
Munchkin?
to be bigger than he really is. You find him behind the curtain, vulnerable, just a little guy.
Nude,
dark brown hair. You can attack him, man. You really can. I mean, if you find out his weaknesses and you can cut off his strengths, like you said, man.
It's literally just be physical. He's a little guy, and the Heat have the perfect recipe to stop Trae Young. I'm not saying he's going to do, what was he, 1 for 12?
He scored 9 points.
That's crazy. I don't think he'll do that again in the series, but I don't think he's going to be Ice Trae the gang. Ice melted.
I mean, he had a terrible game, but you got to give credit to Miami's defense, really. I mean, just being able to lock it down. I mean, the Hawks aren't the Hawks without Trae Young. I mean, their whole offense goes through him. People get to their shots because of Trae Young. So if you can figure out a way to, shut him down and cut off the head of the snake, then
I think the Miami Heat have been waiting for this all year.
Yes.
The playoffs.
I agree.
Another Eastern Conference series.
Although Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Butler overrated?
In terms of what?
Just being a star type of player.
I think he's overrated. I think he's been overrated for a while.
Okay. I just wanted to ask because I don't know. I don't know if he can be that guy.
I don't think he can be that guy.
Me neither.
That's a good question. But a series, Bucks versus Bulls. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Bucks look bored.
I agree.
They look, they're overlooking the Bulls, which could be dangerous. The Bulls put up a fight. DeMar shot like 6 for 26 or something.
Yeah, terrible. Zach
LaVine didn't look good, inefficient. But yet they were still in the game. I just think the Bulls kind of need that, punch to the nads. And I think that was it, the wake-up call to get them going. They kind of looked like they were going through the motion. They went on that run, I think, in the first quarter and kind of coast. They thought they could coast, and Bulls had a little fight in them. But I don't expect much from this series. I know DeMar probably won't shoot that bad, or hope he could. I mean, the Bucks present a lot of problems.
Yeah, it stayed closer than I expected. It just, like you said, it seems like the Bucks are kind of coasting. I think they know what they're up to. I think their goal is obviously another championship, and I think they know the Bulls aren't a match. To me, this seems like a 1 versus 8 seed. The Bucks are the 1 seed, the Bulls are the 8 seed. We're just going to knock this out and then really get to our opponents, the Sixers, the Nets, the Celtics.
Yeah, and then we have the Suns versus Pelicans. CP3 looks hungry for that ring.
Yeah.
He's
ready.
He's looking like he's starving for that ring, and I mean, he put on quite the show. I don't think the Pelicans stand much of a chance.
I think this is the year for the Suns. I think this is I think they do have more pressure than people think. I think Ayton's a free agent. I think Chris Paul knows this might be like the final run with the core, with the whole team. And I do think this is the year that they need to win a championship for everything to work out the way I think they want it to. I think they know that. And I think they could. I mean, they're a very good team. Pelicans are no match. I just don't. I have to see more. I think their offense gets a little stagnant. They're not great rebounding. But they're a good defensive team, and they got good players, so who knows?
Yeah, we just wanted to gloss over some of the stuff that's going on in the NBA playoffs. We didn't really get in depth. We'll probably get in depth once the series ends and we go into round 2. But I have a quote from Luke.
All right.
He's sitting right across from me. He once said, "When life gives you lemons, make a lemonade tree." When life gives you lemons, make a lemonade stand.
Okay. I did say that. I remember.
And also, I said, "What's life like for you?" And he said, "Like a lemonade stand."
Life's like a lemonade stand.
Yeah. Can you elaborate?
I'd like to hear your interpretation of that first. Like, if you were to read that, what are you assuming that means?
Life's like a lemonade stand?
Yeah.
That's very deep. That's why I had to write it down. I kind of, threw it around in my mind for a bit, but I couldn't come up with a real good, explanation behind it. Life's like a lemonade stand.
Okay.
So it's, what would you say, simple?
Sure. Yeah. I guess it can be interpreted in whatever way you think, but
cute.
Is it cute?
Usually lemonade stands are pretty cute, run by children that are just trying to
make a dollar.
Keep busy.
Yeah.
Simple yet effective and heartwarming. A lot of people will just buy your lemonade even if they're not thirsty. They'll just come by to give, appreciate that you made lemons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, there's a lot of layers to this one.
Yeah, there is, man, because there's always a saying, life gives you lemons.
Right.
And so if life gives you lemons, there's certain things you can do with them. You can make lemonade. And when you make lemonade, you can share the lemonade. You can sell it. You can, like you said, people are giving money just to give you money. Girls are giving you lemonade because you need a refreshment. So I think life, there's different levels.
Yeah, I didn't know that we were gonna unpack this like this. I thought it was gonna be a one sentence answer, but wow,
I'm kind of going off the top right now. But life gives you lemons. You make a lemonade stand. Life is a lemonade stand.
But I guess I miswrote it. Can you elaborate on this one? Let's see. We'll both elaborate and see what it could possibly mean. When life gives you lemons, make a lemonade tree.
Lemonade tree? Huh, interesting.
That's what I wrote down. I don't know why.
Did you think I said lemon tree?
I thought you said lemonade tree. It said a lemonade stand for some reason. Or maybe I just wrote it down.
So a lemonade tree is different from a lemon tree.
Right, I don't think, but would a lemonade tree be the evolution of the whole process of making lemonade?
Could be, and that could be much deeper to where life has evolved so far.
That you already have the lemonade in the tree. You can pluck the tree for the lemonade. You no longer have to pluck the lemon.
Interesting. So we've evolved past life as a lemon.
We've come full circle from a lemonade stand to skipping all of that into the lemonade tree.
Wow. Life.
Wow, man.
Circle of life, man.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. That was another episode of Forget What You Heard. I think we're going to do Wisdom with Luke every episode. I'm going to ask him a question before. I'm going to write it down. We're going to unpack it like we did today. That was pretty fun. Thank you for that, Luke.
Thanks.
And thanks as always for joining me. And thank you guys for listening and the support and the love. We feel it. We're feeling good. We're feeling great about our content. We have a lot of ideas. Stay tuned. But more importantly, you guys stay safe, stay lovely, peace, love, and happiness.
Gargle.